Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Like I promised, this is going to be my wrap-up video for the month of May, where I basically just go over all the series that I've been reading and just my slight thoughts on the series, because I don't intend on reviewing all of the series, and if I do intend on reviewing it in the future, I think I might just give you a brief synopsis of what I think, and then I'll go in more depth in the actual review. So yeah, let's just hop right into it and start looking at what I read this month. So first off, I started reading Dr. Stone this month. I have the first 3 volumes here. I have been reading them throughout the month, and this series I actually kind of took a chance with. I didn't really look too much into it. I just had a general idea of what it was about, and this is actually one of the series I plan on reviewing in the future because it's actually very different. It has a very unique story to it, and the art is really good in it. It's the same author and illustrator as iShield 21, so the art is really good in it, and I'll actually give you a look at it real quick. So yeah, this is the art. It looks pretty good. It's nothing like Vagabond, but it's definitely great for the series. And the story basically follows Taiju and Senku. They are 2 friends from high school. They've been friends forever. Senku is basically your genius scientist, and Taiju is basically the bronze. Like, he's the strong one of the 2. He does all the heavy lifting, and this dude right here, this is Senku. And that's Taiju right there in the middle. And the girl, I forget her name right now, but she is Taiju's love interest. And basically the story follows everyone in the world basically just gets turned to stone, and these 2 are the ones that come back to life. The stone falls off, and basically it's just them rebuilding civilization from the ground up. And some things happen where there's someone that basically has differing views than Senku. Senku wants to bring the world back to like how it is for us currently, and the other guy, he basically wants to keep it primitive because he thinks that's when humans are most humane and justified. So it's basically these 2 forces going back and forth, and the series is really cool because like when they make like for example, like they make gunpowder in it, something so small and insignificant in like today's times, you get to actually see like how it's actually made and like the actual like steps and process it takes to make and how hard it actually is to make, and it keeps it super interesting all the way through. So yeah, it's a great start so far. I read the first 3 volumes, like I said. It's really good. It actually exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to get more. I'll probably do a first impression on it when I get the first 5 volumes, because that's how I've been doing the first impression so far, so I want to continue it from there, doing it that way. So yeah, that's what I thought about Dr. Stone. If you're looking for a different, more unique shonen series, I definitely recommend Dr. Stone. Okay, and next I read volume 6 of The Promised Neverland, and this volume kind of sets up the next phase of the story. So I'll put a timestamp on the screen right now if you haven't read up to volume 6, because I'm gonna get into some spoilers and I don't want anyone to be spoiled on it, because it's a good series and I think everyone should give it a shot. So yeah, if you're still watching, you've read up to volume 6 and you know what happens, so I'm not spoiling you. So yeah, volume 6 is basically the first volume of all of the kids outside of the basically like compound they were held in, and they're getting adjusted to the world. And basically how they thought it was before was basically like outside of the compound, it was humans and demons basically just selling these kids for food and just like living amongst each other kind of. But in this volume we actually find out that there's like 2 separate worlds. So like half of it is the humans and the other half is the demons, and it gets into the history of what made them separate and like what the world was like years ago. And we actually get to meet a few demons that are actually their allies. We find out later on that they're really not, but they do help them get to where they need. And at the end of the volume, we get to see them get to the location that they've been striving to get to. It's they found some books in the compound, and they basically told them to go to a location. They basically get to it at the end and get introduced to a character that you basically get left on a cliffhanger of who he is. But yeah, I was a little nervous of how the story was gonna go after they got out, because I thought that was like the interesting aspect of it, of these kids outsmarting these genius mothers and stuff. But yeah, it's actually holding up pretty well. It's actually kind of getting more interesting than I thought. You see, Emma is starting to mature. She's starting to want to defend all the children. She's asking to learn how to hunt, and yeah, really good. Like I've said before, it's a good series. If you haven't checked it out yet and you're a shonen fan, definitely pick it up. So the next series I started reading was One Piece. Like I said, it's volume 61 to 65. You can see, I'll show you spines real quick, and I'll show you the covers as I talk about them. Interestingly, volume 61 is basically just a redesign of volume 1, just with all the Straw Hat Pirates that have joined since then on the cover, which is really cool. So basically, this is post time skip. Like we ended off with every single Straw Hat being separated and sent off into a different direction, onto a different island, and basically training to become stronger for when they meet back up. And when they meet back up, man, it was great. Like volume 61 was basically just every single Straw Hat just flexing how much stronger they've gotten over the last 2 years, and it was really cool to see. Like we get to see how much Zoro has improved while training with Mihawk. Naruto has Conqueror's Haki now, and not to mention we get to go to Fishman Island for the first time, which I don't know. Like I've been waiting for Fishman Island because it was teased in volume 10 when Arlong was introduced, because that's where he's from, and we actually get to see how his power kind of seeped into the younger generation at Fishman Island, with the new up and coming Fishman pirates looking to him as they want to be his successor, and we get to see the prejudice that humans hold towards the fishmen, and it's definitely a great introduction to the island, the arc, and just the whole fishman human dynamic in general. And it's really good, and like some of the most badass scenes have happened in this section. Like when Naruto conquer, or not Naruto, holy crap, when Luffy conquer Haki's like 300 fishmen at once just by looking at them, like that was definitely one of the most badass moments in the story. Or like when Zoro beat the fishmen underwater, which is like unheard of, in like one swipe. The entire thing was just a big flex fest, and it was like the best thing ever. So yeah, if you haven't checked out One Piece yet, I don't know what you're doing. It's a great series. Honestly, I don't see how you can't enjoy it. I can see how you like other stuff more, but I think if you read it, you're gonna find some type of enjoyment out of it. So if you haven't picked it up yet, definitely check it out. And if you watch my first impressions video, you know I've already started reading the series, but the next series I read mainly, which is the bulk of what I read in May, was volumes 6 through 17 of My Hero Academia. And if you saw my first impressions video, you saw that I reviewed volumes 1 through 5, and after I reviewed it, I think I went up to volume 7, and I was really intrigued on getting more. So I picked up like a ton during the Viz Media sale, and or maybe it was a little bit before the Viz Medias, I don't know, but I got it basically, and I got a chance to finally read it in May, and holy crap, is the series good. Like, I thought it was good before. Like, if you saw the video, I said it was a good series, but as it goes further and further into the story, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Like, Stain is a great villain. I'm not going to get into it too much, so I'm not going to go into too many spoilers because I plan on making an in-depth video on this in general, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but with villains like Stain and new characters like his name is completely escaping me right now, but this dude right here, it just broadens the story so much. Like, the characters are developing so well in the story. Deku is finally turning All For One into his quirk, and he does it in his own unique way, and I really wasn't expecting how he decided to use it, but once he starts using it that way, it's kind of weird to think that he didn't think of it before, but yeah, once he starts to use the power right and they actually start to get more involved with actual professional hero work, the story gets very interesting. So that's all I'm going to talk on it for now, but yeah, this was like the bulk of my month, and definitely don't regret it, but if you haven't read past like the first few volumes of My Hero Academia, I definitely recommend picking up at least a few more volumes, at least, because the story really picks up. Like, every 3 volumes it kind of just goes up a notch. It's kind of insane to, like, no arc really yet has really like brought it down at all. Like, introduction, new characters just keep bringing it up, new powers, new ways of using their powers, and I don't know, it's like, it's only up to volume like 23 right now, but if this is a long-running series, like a One Piece type series, I can see this possibly overtaking One Piece in the future. Not on like the world development side, but just based on the characters and just the overall like fights and battles that they're gonna have in the series, because some of the fights in this series are already matching up to some of the best fights that I've seen in One Piece yet. And yeah, definitely check it out, and let's move on to the next series that I read. So the next series I started reading this month is Blade of the Immortal. If you saw my manga haul video, you would know that I had some mixed opinions on the first half of this omnibus, but in the end I ended up actually enjoying the series. I plan on making a video on this separately, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but basically the first half, I didn't really like how the fights were going. They were kind of just, he was winning because he was immortal, and I didn't really like that because he was hyped up to be this insane swordsman, and he was kind of just winning by surprising the enemy because they didn't know he was immortal. And it kind of took away from his character and kind of just the fights in general, because I mean, he is immortal, so he doesn't really have a threat of actually dying. But yeah, it's a pretty good series if you're into seinen manga. Like, if you like Vagabond, I definitely recommend this. This is pretty similar to it. You can either pick it up in the singles, which are pretty out of print, so I don't recommend picking it up in that format. This format, which retails for $21 US, but I think on Right Stuff they're about $15, so it's not too bad. Or they're coming out with the deluxe editions pretty soon, which are similar to the Berserk deluxe edition, so they'll be probably $50. And if you have the extra cash, definitely pick up the deluxe edition. It's definitely the best value you're going to get out of it. If not, I think this format is the best way to pick up the series. I had really no issues with it. It's a good omnibus. The paper quality's good. The art looks fine. Honestly, it's great quality. I found no issues with it. So if you want to read a seinen manga that's similar to Vagabond, or just want to pick up a seinen volume that you haven't read yet, definitely check out Blade the Immortal, but yeah, just you have to get through the first half because it's kind of a little bit of a drag. Okay, and lastly, out of all the stuff I read this month, I didn't think this was gonna be my favorite thing I read this month, but it actually turned out to be, and that is the Dragon Ball series, the original Dragon Ball. I have the first two Visbigs right here. This is how far I am through the second one. But yeah, it's honestly just a joy to read. Once I read this whole thing, I can guarantee a video will be out about it because I think more people need to read this series. It's honestly like not a hidden gem, obviously, because it's Dragon Ball, everyone knows about it. But I feel like a lot of people don't give Dragon Ball credit. Like they're always talking about Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, is honestly a great time, and I wish I picked it up sooner. It's a great series. It's just a load of fun to read. And in the Viz Big edition, it makes it even better to read. You have color pages in it, which I'll show you. I will show you one right now if I can. Yeah. So here's a color page. They're kind of sporadically spread throughout the series, but yeah, the Viz Big qualities are always good. This is how I would recommend picking up the series, unless you want the individual volumes, just so you can see the displayed spine art on it. But they have another omnibus. Just make sure that you pick up this one because the other omnibus ones are kind of like the One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto omnibuses. They're really poor quality. The paper is like super thin, and I used to have some of the One Piece omnibuses, but I kind of hated them so much I just got rid of them because they're such bad quality. And it's not even that much more expensive for these. I think it's like an extra $5, and yeah, I would 100% say it's worth the extra $5. So yeah, read Dragon Ball, probably about the first 5 volumes in the series, and it's great. Dragon Ball covers the first 16 volumes of the series, and then Dragon Ball Z covers the rest of the series because I don't know if you know, but in Japan it's not like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it's just Dragon Ball, and it's 42 volumes. But yeah, this is basically the half that covers Goku when he was a child, and then Dragon Ball Z covers when he's an adult. So yeah, check it out if you haven't yet. If you've read a bunch of shonen manga and then you pick up this, I think it's a lot more enjoyable because you kind of get to see where other series such as like One Piece and Naruto take some inspiration for, and it's kind of just a breath of fresh air to read. So yeah, definitely Dragon Ball wins my seal of approval as the best manga I read this month. Maybe I'll put a little award thing up here that we'll give out every month for the wrap-ups. So yeah, that's it for this month. Next video will probably be a review of some sort. I'm not really sure what I want to review yet. I'm actually going to put a little poll up here in the corner, one of these corners. It's for a future video. I just want to know if you're reading One Piece, or if you haven't. I want to know if you haven't started reading yet, and I'm going to put in several options to see how far the people that watch my videos are on One Piece, because that's going to depend on videos I make in the future that I want to talk about One Piece, because I don't want to make videos if you guys haven't read up to that point. But if you've read up to that point, I'd love to have some discussions with you guys about One Piece and even Naruto in the future. But Naruto, I have a whole separate plan to make videos on. One Piece is kind of just up in the air right now for what I want to do, so that poll will help me make these videos. So yeah, guys, I will see you guys next time. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and leave a comment down below if you've been reading anything this month, what you've read, what you thought about any of these series that I've read this month, if you've read them as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and peace out.